Let's talk about something that's often overlooked and misunderstood, but essential for any business leader in today's day. Have you ever asked yourself what actually protects you personally if a decision that you make as a director or an officer of a company ends up in a lawsuit? It's known as Directors and Officers Insurance, or D&O. And if you're a business owner, a board member, an executive, you need to know exactly what it is and what it covers. And more importantly, what happens if you don't have this insurance in place. When you're leading a company, your personal risk does not stop at a bad quarter or at a huge client loss. You can be personally named for a bunch of reasons in a lawsuit. Here are a few: mismanagement of funds, poor hiring or firing decisions, failure to meet fiduciary duties, allegations of misleading investors or stakeholders, even your decisions that can upset a vendor, a partner, or an employee. And yes, even if you are volunteering your time as a board member on a nonprofit, that could personally end up affecting you. Most people just assume, oh, the business has insurance for me. Most people just assume, oh, the business will cover me. But what happens if the business doesn't have the funds to? Or they choose not to indemnify you? That's when you are personally exposed, and that's when Directors and Officers coverage becomes your lifeline. So what does D&O actually cover? D&O coverage is designed to protect the people running the businesses, not just the business itself. And here's typically what it covers: your legal defense, which can easily run into six figures, settlements and judgments, claims from shareholders, employees, or regulators, even vendors, alleged breaches of your fiduciary duty, misrepresentation or errors of your business decisions. And the most important part of Directors and Officers coverage is that it protects your personal assets: your home, your savings, your future. Here are the three parts of Directors and Officers coverage: A, B, and C. So you might hear the terms Side A, Side B, Side C when discussing Directors and Officers. Here's what that actually translates to. Side A covers the individual directors and officers if the company cannot, or if the company chooses not to indemnify them. This is where your personal asset protection lies. Side B reimburses the company after it pays out on behalf of a director and officer. And Side C protects the company itself. This is especially relevant if your company is named in a securities or regulatory claim. It's important that you get a policy that has coverage for all three, especially in today's litigious environment where lawsuits can get complicated very fast. Here's the reality of being in business. Even if the claim is fraudulent and baseless, you still have to pay to defend yourself. That means you're hiring lawyers, you're paying court fees, you're managing your public relations, all out of your pocket. That's why the foundation of a Directors and Officers policy is defense coverage. It gives you resources to respond fast and without draining your company's cash, or more importantly, your personal bank account. So here's a real-world scenario to further drive home the point of the importance of having D&O coverage. A private business brings on a new investor. A few months later, the investor was not happy with the company's direction. They sued the CEO and CFO personally, claiming they had misrepresented the company's financials. No fraud was ever proven, but the legal battle ended up being a $200,000 bill. Because they had a strong D&O policy, those legal expenses were covered. If they didn't have that coverage, they would be paying out of pocket, either draining their company's cash or their personal assets. One of the most common mistakes I hear from business owners regarding directors and officers is that I'm too small to have it, I don't need it. They couldn't be further from the truth. This coverage is not just for Fortune 500 companies. I recommend D&O insurance for small business owners and their executive teams, nonprofits and advisory boards, startups that are taking on investors, any company with a board of directors or corporate officers. If your name is on the dotted line of strategic decisions, you need this coverage. So, what do you look for in a D&O policy? We touched on it a little bit, but here's a little bit more clarity around that. When reviewing D&O insurance language, you want to make sure it includes the following: all three sides, like we discussed, Side A, Side B, Side C. You want the definition of insured to be broad, and you want it to include past, present, and future directors. You want coverage for regulatory investigations. If you don't have a separate employment practices liability policy, EPLI, then you should have a sublimit here, although we do strongly recommend you have it standalone, and you want to make sure that there's no unreasonable exposures that are particular to your business. Leadership comes with enough pressure. You shouldn't have to worry if you're personally liable for any tough call you make in the business. This is why D&O coverage matters. It's not just about protecting the business, but it's about protecting your ability to lead confidently. If you are not sure that you are properly protected when it comes to D&O, at The Bunker, we're here and we're ready to help you move your business from danger to a safe place. Click the link below in the description box to set up some time to schedule a meeting with us so we can properly walk you through this process and make sure that you can continue to lead your business confidently.